Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to create a window form mockup in Visual Studio. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up my Visual Studio. If you have not yet downloaded Visual Studio on your computer, please go ahead and download the latest version. Once you open up Visual Studio, click on New Project. In your New Project window, click on Visual Basic, Web Form Applications, and you want to give it a name. So I'm going to call mine Demo. Click OK. Actually, I have a demo file already, so I'm going to call it Demo 1. Click OK. Now, this open up Visual Studio, and this is the place where you're going to do all of your work. This is your work area, where it's your form. This is your form. I'm going to make mine a little bigger by just clicking, getting my double-edged arrow at the corner, and I'm going to click, hold, and drag. Now in Visual Studio, again, your form is your workspace. This is your area that you're going to work. Visual Studio uses controls, and the controls are used to create what you want your form to look like. All of your controls are in your toolbox. Now I drag my toolbox here to put it beside my property windows, so you may not have your toolbox here. Default, your toolbox will be on this corner and your left, okay? If you do not see your toolbox, click on your View tab, and this is how you open any windows that you're not seeing. And then you will look for Toolbox and click on it, or if you want to open your property windows, this is how you open it as well. So now that we are ready to start working, all of the controls that you're going to use is in your toolbox. How to set those control properties, we're going to use our property windows. The first thing we want to do is add a label, which is going to give us our heading. Its text is default as label 1. I'm going to go in my property window, look for text, go to label 1, click beside it. I'm going to erase label 1 and I'm going to type over it. Today I'm going to create a form with 2 different amount of fingers. So I'm going to type fingers. Okay. Now I may want my text to be a little bigger since it's my heading. So I'm going to go up to font. Click in the font area. You will see a 3-dotted box. Click on that dotted box. I can choose to make my heading bold. I could choose to make bigger. So I'm choosing a bigger font size. Click OK. Here's your heading. I can also choose to change my text color. So I'm going to go to 4 color. So 4 color is your text and back color is your background. Okay. So I'm going to click in my 4 color, click on the arrow, and there are 3 tabs: Custom, Web, and System. It's always default in System. I like to use a custom. So I'm going to click in Custom and I'm going to make my color red. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is add some more controls. So I'm going to add a picture box so we can import pictures. So in your toolbox, everything is in alphabetical order. Scroll down and see till you see picture box. Add a picture box control. Now you can expand it, make it bigger. So I'm going to click find my double-edged arrow in the corner and I'm going to make it bigger. You can also move your picture box to a different location by clicking in the center of your picture box and just hold and drag. I'm going to add a second picture box. Okay. Now I want to change the naming of this picture box in my property so that I can use this picture box in my code. So I'm going to go back and click on the first picture box. In my property window, I'm going to scroll down until I see name, which is going to be under design. It will say picture box 1. By default, I am going to change this to 2 fingers, no space, because I'm going to use this naming in the code. And as you may know, in programming, spaces in name give problem. So I'm going to no space in your naming. Let's click on the second picture box, and the same thing, we're going to change the name of the second picture box to 5 fingers. Again, no space. Now let's go ahead and add some buttons to our form. I'm going to scroll up to buttons, and I'm going to add a few buttons. The same thing, please, you can make your buttons as big as you want them to be or as small. So I'm going to click on the first button. I'm going to change the naming again, and I'm going to call this to BTN. We by default always add the letters BTN at the end of all of the name for a button. It's just so we know that it is a button. Okay. Now, as you can see in my button, the text read button 1. So I can change the text to read something else. I'm going to scroll up to text, and I'm going to erase button 1 and type 2 fingers. And in this text area, you can have space. I'm going to add a second button. And I'm going to change the text on this second button to read 5 fingers. I'm going to scroll down to the naming of the second button, and I'm going to call it 5BTN. Okay. Pay close attention to your naming, because when you are using your code, you will have to know your naming choice. Okay, I'm going to add a third button. And maybe I put the third button up top. I'm going to name this button my exit button. So exit BTN. And for the text of this button, I'm going to scroll up and just type exit. Okay. Now you can add as much control as you want on the form. You can add more labels. I am going to add another label at the bottom. And in my label, I'm going to go my properties, look for my text, and I'm going to type, hope you are enjoying this video. Okay. Of course, I want to make my text a little bigger, so I'm going to go to font. Okay. Click on the 3 dotted dots. Click on bold. I'm going to make this size 10. Okay. And it's the same thing. I can drag it wherever I would like for it to be. Okay. Now, I like to have things a little pretty, so I'm going to show you how to add background colors. I'm going to click on the background, and just like you add the 4 color for the headings, we're going to look at the back color in your properties, and I'm going to click on the arrow. I'm going to also go to custom, and let's add a background. Select any color you like. You can also add background colors to your buttons. I'm going to click on my buttons, and I'm going to change the background colors to probably for green for exit. Yeah, yellow. And I'm clicking all spring-like colors. Okay, so this is a good way in which you can add colors to your file. Now, this is how you create a markup in Visual Basic. You do want to save your files. Now, in Visual Basic, the rule of thumb is to select Save All. So always select Save All. Do not select any of the others. Save All will allow you to save all parts of your file. Hope you enjoy this video. Bye.